G'day guys, welcome back to Beers and Breakevens, heading into round 19. We've obviously got State of Origin coming your way tonight, so an early drop of Beers and Breakevens for you to consume all you need in the lead up to Origin 3, the decider. Timmy, you're taking your missus out for dinner tonight?
Yeah, mate. 8 p.m. we got a booking at the local Italian. So
Yeah, I back that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Priorities.
Yeah, of course. What are you up to, Amanda?
I've got some friends coming over to watch, actually.
Do
I'm
you?
going to host them. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just refreshing my texts. My emails,
you know what, if-
maybe.
Plus, we've been dog back out
We've been dogged
twice in a
again.
week.
Oh, okay.
Twice in 3 days.
Wow.
actually.
No, that's fine.
Wow. You know what? If you weren't the busiest person during Origin, you might have copped an invite, but
Would have loved an invite.
well, you're welcome to come.
Well, feels a bit hollow now, doesn't it?
If you weren't busy, you may have got an invite. Oh, I've heard it all.
Speaking of invites, how was your event, Timmy?
Great. Yes.
Yeah, we had a really good time. You know who would have loved it?
Oh, here we go.
Cat?
Kat, her dad.
Yeah.
Would have had a great time.
I actually would have loved it because the result was way better than the game that I went to.
There was all the fans crying they weren't able to meet Kat.
Yeah.
Their favourite character on Beers and Breakeven. She just went, nah, fuck you guys. I'm going anywhere else.
Just for disrespect to him. Went to the other side of Sydney to get away from him.
went to Manly.
Yeah, I know.
That's just, I don't know.
I can't even fight this one.
You make your own bed sometimes,
Yeah.
you know.
We had a good day, though.
We
Shout
did
out-
have a good day.
Shout out to Owen, one of the OG listeners. Kuma Boy as well. Handcrafted genie lamp, I should say.
Very cool.
I just wish to beat Tim at Scissors Paper Rock Rugby League, and he's crossed out Guru Genie, the RLG.
Late show reference for those of you that might not get it. You're
Right.
missing out big time. But yeah, I can't win a rock off to fucking save myself. And yeah,
Personalised stickers for it. So the Roo, he's got his lamp, and mate, you might start jarring if you from now on because Owen's delivered the goods.
yeah, I got to tell you, those stickers that we got, I had one in my pocket and it came out in the wash the other day and my missus looked at it and was like, what in the fuck is this? And I was like, I'm not even going to explain it to you because you won't appreciate it even if I do.
No, good decision.
So don't worry about it.
You saved everyone time.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Owen. Very, very good gear. Now, 30th of July, we have got our jerseys coming out. I'm not wearing mine today because it has got a little bit of maroon on it, and I shan't be doing that shit. So we've got Grizzlies and Stallions. They'll be coming out on the 30th of July. Now, just a reminder, there is only 30 of these. So it's a top 30. If you're in the squad, you're in. If you're not, TS, you're probably not made of the right stuff. Depending on which squad you make/choose, says a lot about you and your character. So that'll be on the Rugby League Guru website, 30th of July. We'll let you know the exact date, but when they drop, you will have a Grizzly and a Stallions option. You'll go in there. You'll click on which one you want. Then it'll have jerseys 1 to 30, and you choose which one you want. If it is in your bag or your cart, as some call it, Tim, and it is not there when you pay, once again, tough shit. Be quicker. So be tactical about which jersey you select.
My advice would be if you really want a jersey and you've got standards and you want safe, you want to play safety, Sam, just grab one of Guru's. They'll be there for a while. They'll be up. If you go for Stallions one, you put it in your cart, it'll be gone before you know it. They're going to fly off the shelf. So
yes.
if you want to make sure you get one, the Guru one's probably the option. If you want to join an elite squad, get ready and prep for a Stallion.
Yeah, and the good thing about Timmy's one, it is a very limited edition one because it will more than likely be the last one where he has no trophies on it whatsoever. So it is a pretty unique little thing to own in sport, right?
You've done that well, actually.
Thank you.
Because I was going to say, well, limited edition, the year we won, but you've played that well.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So 30th of July, stay tuned for that. Put some bickies away and save it for them. We'll remind you in the weeks leading up to it. Now, Lontel doing great things as always. I actually had a mate who joined up last week. He's just come out of his free week and he's staying on board. Couldn't believe how quick it's been for him.
I did too. I had a message from a mate during the week asking for a link to Lontel and hooked him up and he said, boom. What a
On
day. 3,
I want us to both say our mate's name.
I was going to say, is it the same mate?
It's not the same mate.
1, 2, 3.
Josh
William.
Brown.
Oh!
Because you don't know my mate.
You don't know that.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
Most of your mates are my mates now. Every time I meet them, mate, every time I meet your mates, I think they walk away liking me more than you. Vegas Exhibit A.
That head of yours.
So yeah, free internet for a week if you sign up through the link down below. And then, yeah, check it out for a week or so, see how you go. They don't take any details or anything, Timbo?
Nah, don't need to put your cards in. It's basically just back us because we're backing ourselves. We'll give you a week for free, courtesy of Beers and Breakevens. Your internet will fly. It will change your life. And then you give your card details over and you pay for the best bloody internet in Australia. So, yeah, they're backing themselves and I rate that.
It's probably for the best for you not to put your details anywhere else, right?
Oh, yeah, the less I do that, the better these days.
I was going to ask, is it a bit triggering to say don't need to put your card
There's
details?
a lot triggering at the moment for me, honestly.
Beck got an email like that the other day and I read it and I was like, she's like, what do I do? I'm like, nah, this isn't as good as the guy that got Timmy. No way, this guy's amateur hour compared to what Timmy had to deal with.
Yeah. Honestly, the amount of triggers I've had in the last week or two, just that is things completely irrelevant to any sort of hacking and cyber hacking. Oh, it's been traumatising a few weeks.
I actually had a little incident the other day, which you'll laugh at because it was semi your fault. Not entirely your fault, but definitely semi your fault. When you were going through all this, I checked my bank statements the other day and I just had this one thing from like, I think it was like Brisbane or something that just kept cashing in on my card. Taking $10, $10.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, what is it? You know what it turned out to be? You know that vending machine at the
I
end
knew
of
you
the
were
hallway?
to say that.
Shut up.
Yeah, it takes $10, you buy your product, and then it gives you back
It refunds.
whatever's left over. Remember that day we thought the machine wasn't working?
Yeah, I unplugged a public vending machine and thought I knew what to do.
That vendo got me during the week as well.
Oh, yeah, that would have ran
And
the
it
shit out
flags
of
as
you.
Brisbane. I'm like,
Yes.
why is there $4 in Brisbane? Anyway.
Yeah, no, got me. Had a real heart attack there. So good gear. Shout out to Lontel. Go and check them out. Link is down below. All right. How did you score this week, Himothy?
Well, mate, 1062.
You're a wanker.
Thanks, mate. Saved a trade as well.
Out and out.
Yeah, so
Wayne
we've got
Kerr.
14
Kerr, Wayne.
Yeah, 14 in the bank, moving into the run home, and up to 1,500 overall. So good week. How'd you go, mate?
I scored 893, which I wasn't happy about in any way, shape, or form.
Did you forget to change your team?
I dropped down 1,457 spots, so I'm back into the 7,000s where I belong. I'm really making a home for myself
Back
there.
where you've spent.
I think it's like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Dipped my toe in the 6,000s, thought, nope, not for me.
Yeah. Uncomfortable.
I'm coming back. Good to see. How'd you go, mate?
1004.
Ooh.
Not bad. We got to see some green this week. I went up 3,000 and something spots. So it's very safely still in the 30,000s where I feel like I belong. But it was nice to have a good week.
What's the gap between you two?
Heaps, surely.
Because you're
If
getting
you're at
low.
30, if we're 20,
I'm 30. I'm in the, like, I'm 31,000.
yeah, we're 23,000
Yeah.
ranks away. Can you go to your total score? I'm 22,152. What are you whilst we're at that? What am I chasing? 500?
Yeah, 450.
450. Okay.
My total score 21,271.
Yeah, so I'm like 800 or 900 in front of her.
Kat's got an army of trades though.
Yeah,
so.
she
I
does.
do. I have 400K in the bank and 15 I was going to say 15 tries, 15 trades.
15 trades. Okay. How many trades you got left?
14. Wow, I'm almost up there with the hoarder.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have as many as I have you made some big moves last few weeks? You must have.
I made 3 last week.
Yeah, right.
So-
you feeling okay?
No, actually.
Who'd have
Thanks for
known
asking.
trades lead to good scores, Kat?
Wow.
Oh, fuck. There was a bit of sass in that.
Far
There's a bit
out,
of Kuma
Timmy.
sass in that.
Yeah.
Shit. So, yeah, it's not looking good. The chase for the trophy has widened once again. And what do I need? 450.
I think about 450, yeah.
That's a Herbie Farmworth half. Thanks for coming. All right, let's sink our fangs into round 19. Now, guys, obviously Origin tonight, a famous New South Wales victory incoming. And then we'll see who backs up and whatnot. I'm assuming, and I know I've said it for a few weeks now, but surely this week will be the carnage week, right?
I would think so, but I'm losing all faith in NRL coaches and their ability to give these poor buggers a rest. Because I don't think there's ever been a player that wants to rest. But it's up to the coaches to come ahead and say, no, like we need you later on. We can't afford you to get injured. Like rest your body.
Yeah.
So look, I would imagine there'll be some rest this week, but there was bugger all on the turnaround from Perth. So this one in Sydney, a lot of games in Sydney this week. I don't know. Does it change much? We'll see.
Yeah, Christ, we'll see. So Friday, July 11, we've got the Sharks and the Dolphins. For the Sharkies, they're essentially 1-17. No major changes there for the Sharkies. For the Dolphins, Hamiso's been named at fullback. Mate, if I was to bet on anyone that was going to miss, surely a 2-day turnaround is just too much to ask, isn't it? When you've got Trey Fuller on the extended and whatnot, it just seems outrageous.
Yeah, and look, with how explosive an athlete he is, he has also had sort of hamstring problems in the past as well, so and those soft tissue injuries. So, yeah, it seems risky.
Sean O'Sullivan in at 5'8" as well, replacing Cody Nikorima. Anything on that game, mate?
No, not really, mate.
Saturday, July 12. I don't know why I read the fucking date. Weird as shit. Knights v Melbourne Storm. For the Knights, Fletcher Hunt at fullback. Greg Marshy returns on the wing. Jacko at 5'8". Phoenix Crossan returns to the 9 jersey. Brayley in the 14 jersey. Leo Thompson returns at prop as well. For the Melbourne Storm, Ryan Pappenhausen has been named. Know that he is in my draft team, so he probably won't fucking play. Stefano has been named on the bench as it stands, but the extended Howarth, Trent Leroux, Munster, Grant. We'll talk about the Melbourne boys, mate. Surely 3-day turnaround. If Queensland win, surely these guys aren't backing up.
Yeah, you would think so. I like Cam Munster. You think, everything he's gone through, losing his dad in the past week, he'll have an origin decider. It makes sense to rest him.
Yep.
Harry Grant, I said it after last origin, but he's had hamstring injury already this season, pivotal to their title hopes. There's every chance they win the game without a few of these boys. So I think Harry's a huge chance at a rest. They've been pretty happy to actually rest Xavier Coates. He hasn't even been named.
He hasn't been named at all.
Wow. Okay, there you go. So, yeah, I would imagine there'll be a few restings, but I don't know anymore.
I think as well, and I know this is probably like a bit like super coachy, you read a ladder of me, but like you're also playing a team that if you lose to, it's not like they're going to jump you.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going to be in the top 4, top 8 race. So, I would assume that they would rest those guys,
And
but
it's like,
we'll see.
It's the Melbourne Storm. You have Ryan Pappenhausen still. You have Jerome Hughes.
Yeah.
Like, you're not exactly sending out a Q Cup outfit, are you?
I'm a little bit surprised with the move of Phoenix Crossan back to 9. I thought he looked sensational at 13 the last few weeks. I'm sort of assuming that at the 25-minute mark he might go to 13 and Brayley comes on, but not that it matters to anyone else. But
just stick with a freaking spine.
I loved Crossan at 13. I thought
good.
it looked fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, once again, it doesn't impact anyone but my drafter.
Is Fletcher Hunt a cheapy option? Like, people looking to free up cash at the moment. I know the CT dub spot's tough, but playing fullback, Sharp and Pongagon longer term, break even from neg 13, 234K at CT dub. You wouldn't be bringing him to play him, but he's going to make money. He might score half all right and just free up a bunch of cash.
Have you got the Newcastle side in front of you there by any chance?
Yeah.
Is Connor Patano on the extended?
No.
Okay. Yep. Maybe he's a decent option then. Mate, every time I've watched him play, I feel like he doesn't get a heap of SuperCoach points. I feel like he has to do a lot to get them. And at fullback, he might do it, but also I've seen some really talented fullbacks really struggle in that night side.
Yeah.
I don't love it, but I can. If you're in a position to
Put
do
it this way, if you need to free up cash this week, you get a fullback, starting fullback over enough. I don't mind it.
Yeah, very fair. Okay, anything else on that game, mate?
No.
All right, let's move to... I've opened the wrong sheet. Let's move to the Dragons v the Roosters. That one's at 5:30 for the Dragons. Hamish Stewart on the bench. Leilua comes back into the side there as well on the edge. Not too much else to talk about. I want to ask you about Michael Molo last week. What price is he at? Have you...
Honestly, I've not looked at Michael
Because, mate,
Molo,
I had a look at his stats yesterday. He essentially played 80 minutes and based out about 65 on the edge. And I just wonder if there's a world where we're looking at a Dylan Egan situation here where it's a late shift and he comes into the side.
291K, -7 break even.
How many games has he played?
1.
Yeah,
65 and 80 minutes for 63 in base.
just one to keep an eye on this weekend. It wouldn't shock me at all if he does end up sort of starting on that edge and maybe playing a bit of middle as well. If you look at his New South Wales Cup this year, he's played edge, he's played middle, he's played lock as well, so he can sort of do everything. I don't know, it says something to me that Flano, he's been so hesitant to leave second rowers out there for entire games. He left him out there for a full 80 last week, didn't miss a tackle, didn't have any errors. He was really solid. So
Big watch this week if he does come in and start. And because he's only played one game, you don't need to move this week. But if he does it again next week, I mean, a few back rolls potentially due. Well, Egan's season.
Egan's out for the season. You've obviously got Couchman. I don't know what's going to happen with that situation.
Yeah.
So he might have a decent little shot there.
He's available at front row forward.
Dual or just front row forward?
Just front row, which is a bit annoying, but you can always go Royce Hunt to him.
Yeah. I think he's one to keep an eye on. It
Okay.
wouldn't shock me if he does end up starting there. Thank me later. Roosters, Rob Toya named to back up. Mark Nawanga Nitowase on the wing. Savala at 5'8". Sammy Walker returns in jersey 7. Watson's been named to back up at 9. Feketi on the edge. Radley at 13. Sammy Walker's the big one there, mate. Huge in for the Chookies.
Huge in for the Chookies. Sandon Smith a huge out for the Chookies. What's your read on this? Even non-Supercoach wise, I think the Roosters are playing with fire with Sandon Smith. Like, I think he's a gun.
Yep.
I think he's got such a big future. They've opted for Savala over him, and that's fine. Maybe Savala and Walker are a better fit. He's got that good long kicking game, so I get it. But even like, and look, maybe it changes come game day, but for Sandon not even to be off the bench, I don't think he's a player they want to lose. But anyway, I've got such high opinion of him.
Yeah, so do I. And I think you are correct in that if it wasn't for the long kicking game, I think it would be Sandon for sure. But
14, like Zach Docker-Clay? Seriously? Not a knock on Zach Docker-Clay. Sandon's a great utility.
Surely we're seeing a change late there, aren't we?
You'd think so. But
Like, even if you need him to play hooker, if Connor Watson doesn't back up, I'd rather have Sandon Smith over Zach Docker-Clay anyway. And they've got a lot of forwards there that they can play big minutes. Yeah, it's a weird one. So, we'll keep an eye on that situation. Are you a Sandon Smith owner?
yeah, so I'm one of the many that are screwed at hooker this week. I'm a Sandon and Riley who they've just done, shout out to both of them, simultaneously. They've just done a fantastic job at hooker through a tough period for me. But it has hit a wall this week.
I say simultaneously.
Simultaneously.
I noticed then you're a simultaneously guy. It's a bit posh, I think, quietly, my friend.
Yeah, well, I'm a pretty fancy
What do
guy.
you think, Beck? Beck?
Beck?
Shit. What do you think, Kat? Is it
That's like when you call your
my goodness.
that was so like when you call your teacher mum.
Mum? Yeah.
That was 100% one of those.
Yeah, that rattled the shit out of me. back
I
in the
called
day.
a teacher dad once. That's even worse.
I got called mum once when I was a teacher. That was rattling.
So what was the question?
Simultaneous or simultaneous?
I'm a simultaneous person. Yeah.
You know, I feel like I alternate between the two because I feel like
Are
I
you-
don't say simultaneously that often. But,
Well, yeah, heaps did.
well, mate,
Are you a dance or dance guy?
I dance every day.
You seem like a dance guy.
No, I do
No,
not.
honestly,
I
just
seem
gonna,
like a
as a mate,
dance
I'm going to be
guy.
honest with you. You come across like a dance guy.
No, he
That is the
doesn't.
biggest load of
No, he
rubbish I've
doesn't.
ever heard in my life.
He's not a dance guy.
I wish I
not
was
a dance.
fancy enough to pronounce dance.
I think the real question is schedule or schedule.
Schedule.
You're rattled.
Yeah, well, do you want me thinking about it now?
I've been telling you guys
Schedule.
for years.
I'd say schedule.
He is a country guy with city values.
Yeah.
This is how it's
See?
always been with him, and it's never going to change.
I
This is
think
example 10,000.
I think city is schedule and country is schedule.
I was going to say I'd call it a schedule.
There you go. Anyway,
Unbelievable. I don't know where we were at. Let's move to the Cowboys and the Bulldogs. Is there anything else you want to touch on with that game, mate?
No.
Cowboys, Bulldogs. For the Cows, Cotter and Nanai on the edges. Robson named at 9. Murray Tuolangi on the extended. For the Canterbury Bulldogs, Critter has been named. Kiraz is on the wing. We've seen Montoya drop out of the side. Sexton still at 7. Burton back in the 6. Galvin and Kurt Mann on the bench. Anything in that game you want to touch on, mate?
No, all pretty sort of straightforward there.
Interesting to see Ruben Cotter become an edge for the North Queensland Cowboys.
Yeah, I don't love it, but I mean, Bateman's out. I like him as a middle, but
So do I. Not huge on it.
maybe they're thinking this week just post Origin, a bit less workload or something. I don't know.
Yeah, now if the Cows would like to do me a favour and adorable
Sorry.
as per. If the Cowboys would like to do me a favour and draft and rest Reece Robson this week, I'd thoroughly appreciate it.
Well,
Let Temple have another run. No, I'm just playing Reece Robson.
Oh,
All right, Sunday, we've got the New Zealand Warriors taking on the West Tigers from Go Media. That one's at 2 p.m. For the Wars, Torpicki at fullback. DWZ makes a huge return on the Sting about 5 weeks earlier than expected. Tanner Boyd wins the race to the Jersey 7. Ford in the front row. Lecker back starting on the edge. Tomato Martin in the 14. For the Tigers, Adam Dewey returns at centre. Lau Lilly out. Luai at 6, Appy at 9, Tristan Hope at 14, and Jack Bird returns this week on the bench. I'd keep an eye on Jack Bird, though, hamstring injury. I don't know if he will feature in that one. What do you take from this game, mate? Are we going to talk Tanner Boyd a little bit later?
talk Tanner Boyd a little bit later. Yeah, not too much. I've said it every week, but fire. I wish Webby just stick with one of these edge back rows in Labour and Halasima Valmunga so that we just have an absolute steal in the back row, but just an absolute luxury just to go, nah, which destructive back row do we pick this week?
Yeah, it's insane over there at the moment. The Eels and the Panthers, 4:05 p.m. Combank Stadium for the Eels. Guymer back on the edge. De Silva makes his Parramatta Eels debut in jersey 14. Lussick will start in 9. Still no Riley Smith with suspension. For the Panthers, look, you can go and have a look at that Panthers lineup they've put out there. The big news, though, is the extended bench. Cleary, Edwards, To'o, Martin, Yeo. Being the second last game of the week, I do wonder if a lot of these guys do back up, Timbo. What do you reckon?
I'm losing my mind here.
Why?
Warriors Tigers, Sunday 13th of July. Talon De Silva's dropped off the team sheet. He's not on there.
It's Parramatta Eels versus Penrith Panthers.
Oh, God, I was so confused. I didn't realise you jumped games. I'm so lost. I was so rattled just then.
I don't understand what happened.
I was looking at the Tigers.
Right.
And I was like looking at Appy and I'm like Talon. I'm like, there's no Talon. I'm like, I looked at this team sheet last night and Talon was 14. Sorry, guys.
I love that. I'm heaps into that.
And I wasn't paying attention to you changing games.
Okay, so Eels, De Silva's 14, Guyman's on the edge. Nothing really to talk about there. I'm asking you about the Panthers side. Do these guys back up Sunday? What is that? Almost a 5-day turnaround for them. What do you reckon? 4-day?
4-day.
What do you reckon?
Two of our stronger moments.
Yeah.
I'm glad you backed up mine with that 5-day turnaround.
I'm on the podium. I haven't taken one, but I'm on the podium.
Yeah.
I'll take a silver, thanks.
The Panthers, I think they will. I don't know. And the reason being is that Cleary's got some sort of injury concern, like a niggle. Brian To'o's got some sort of injury niggle. So if they're fit and good to go, I reckon they'll back up. Big game against Parramatta, one that they'll back themselves to win. If they get through okay, just because of the ongoing injury concerns, I'm not certain. What are your thoughts?
I'm pretty similar, and I would just like to apologise to anyone that's listened to Beers and Breakevens for the last 4 years for that last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It was not our best 3 minutes. I'd like to think it was our worst, but I'm not sure if it was.
I was going to say, like, we've had worse, but I'm like, it was up there.
It was right up there. Yeah.
Well, we're actually doing a Wednesday morning early recording this week. I do my best work at night. I'm not a morning person, so I'm going to put it down to that. I don't know what your excuse is on the 4 to 5 day backup, but
I don't know. I actually think mornings we do okay here, but anyway, let's move on because this is going nowhere fast. Gold Coast Titans, Brisbane Broncos, 6:15 p.m. Sunday night. For the Titans, Brimo's at 1. Kelly gets another shot in the centres. You've also got De Groot named on the wing. Apparently, Campiera setting a try-scoring record wasn't enough. JC at 7. And Dave Fafita gets his opportunity on the bench. Can't wait to have that conversation over the next few weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Walsh at fullback for the Bronx. Shibasaki has been named. Hunt returns at 9 and Arthur's on the extended. Very keen to see Benny Hunt fit into this side. Very keen to see how they look, Bruce Vegas.
yeah, it could make or break them. I mean, it shouldn't break them, but
It shouldn't,
they've
but-
just come in some good form.
Yep.
At least 15 minutes worth against the Dogs. But if he clicks at 9, look out.
Yeah, it's watch out stations. Scary. Teams with the bye this week. The Raiders.
Just a quick side note, I know you mentioned it.
You're not going to give us another update on De Silva, are you?
Nah. Where is Anthony LaFranchi on the Titans team sheet? No, but in all seriousness, how the hell has Jalen de Groot been named on the wing ahead of Khan Pereira?
Yeah, wild.
Like, Desi, what are you doing?
And who else has missed out for Brian Kelly to be in there? Like, is Jojo Fafita? I just have the names in front of me. I don't have the list in front
Alan
of me.
Fitzgibbon dropped out.
Alan Fitzgibbon, okay. But Jojo Fafita's not in there too.
What?
Is he injured or
Jojo's
suspended?
at centre. What are you looking at?
Oh, sorry, he is too. Fuck, we've had a bad 3 minutes.
What was that?
I don't know.
It's like 6 minutes now.
It's okay. I think we need to leave teamless.
Get out of
This is
teamless.
going. Fuck, I can't believe how bad we are in the morning. And for all of you in the comments, like, you should do it in the morning instead of the night. You miss like a minor detail. Well, this is what you get. This is what you get.
I actually prefer the morning, but anyway, this is really entertaining
Great
for
to
me.
hear. Raiders, Manly, Rabbitohs on the bye. Now, we're going to chuck to NRL Physio to get his thoughts. I'm sure the morning of State of Origin Game 3, he'll be very polite and won't carry on like an arsehole. Do you reckon he'll address you this week?
I think he will. I think
he'll
actually
overdo it this
I think
week.
he felt really bad.
Yeah, I think he did too.
My
I
bad.
actually thought that was quite cruel of you, if I'm completely
here we
honest.
go.
Probably the nicest guy in rugby league.
Just took aim.
Yeah, didn't miss him. Heavy.
Oh,
Let's
whatever.
chuck to him.
Alrighty team, Supercoach relevant injuries for this week. Ryan Pappenhausen, he was the big one who affected a lot of Supercoaches over the weekend. A late rule out with calf tightness. He's back this week. Is he going to play? Is he likely to keep the goal kicking? They're the big questions. I think at this point in time, if it is truly just tightness, which is what the Storm have said so far, then he's very likely to play this week. The big concern with calf injuries is they do linger around during rehab, so there is a little bit of concern there. But with tightness, if there's no structural damage on scans, you usually can avoid that pretty well. But the re-injury risk or the aggravation risk, if he does play, is quite low. It's lower than 5%, so risk is quite safe there. In terms of the goal kicking, with these injuries, even though it is a lower leg injury, it's one of those things where fit to play, fit to kick. The calf is going to aggravate him most during acceleration phases, so pushing up off the line, sprinting through for a line break, those kind of things. So if he's able to do those, he technically is able to kick. I mean, he's a pretty good backup though, and quality of replacement comes in here. So look, like my thing is that even if he's not kicking, it's only going to be for maybe a week, maximum 2. So, yeah, the upside there for me is way too high, being the Storm fullback. I mean, even if Meaney didn't goal kick on the weekend, he probably still would have scored like 120 as opposed to 160 or something like that. So, I'm personally pretty happy to hold on to perhaps some low on trades. But, yeah, if you're looking at, thinking he's not going to goal kick for 6 weeks, that's very, very unlikely. It might maximum be a week or 2. Payne Haas, he's had that injection into his back, cortisone injection, anti-inflammatory injection, to try and sort that out. So he's going to play Origin. It just leaves him a very volatile prospect over the rest of the season in terms of, and I think we've seen it over the last 2 weeks. Had one of his best games of the season 2 games ago, backing up from Origin, where he scored 100 points, was everywhere. Then last game, he aggravated his back to the point where it needed an injection kind of post-game, and he only scored like 45, 50 or something like that. So my main approach with Haas is I don't think I can go away from him or trade him out, just purely because he's still going to have those 100-point games in him for the rest of the season. But it's just moved him away from the captaincy or the vice-captaincy for me, because he could just as very easily pump out those 40s as well, because he aggravates his back. The injection will help with that a little bit, but it's just, a really volatile kind of situation there. Nathan Cleary with his groin issue. I think the main thing here is a lot of people are looking at Dylan Edwards as a potential buy if he has the goal kicking long term. With the groin issues, I think we spoke a couple of weeks ago, the average is about 3 to 4 weeks. For halves who are goal kickers, we've seen that with both Jamal Fogarty and Nico Hines so far this season. I think Nico took 3 weeks and Fogarty took 4 weeks to get the goal kicking back. So this would be pretty much bang on 3 weeks for Cleary now. So once again, with Dylan Edwards, I wouldn't be unless Cleary has aggravated that injury without us finding out, which I doubt it, because he's kind of, played through, except for obviously the game over in NZ. But yeah, look, I think you're only looking at a week or 2 for Edwards for that with that goal kicking if Cleary hasn't aggravated his groin, which it doesn't sound like he has at this point in time. If you're looking at Brian To'o as well, I think he's one you've got to eyeball. He's red hot chance of arrest coming out of Origin 3 with that LCL injury, and then just see how it affects his workload over the next couple of weeks. So I wouldn't be jumping on him straight away, even though they do have a bit of a cakewalk matchup over the next couple of weeks. Guys coming back, Dave Fafita, Greg Marshew, Sam Walker. Obviously, Sammy Walker coming back from the long layoff with the ACL and then the broken thumb. Look, like he's had the one benefit to the broken thumb is he will have had an extra week to kind of rehab his ACL and build that performance and those kind of things. But he's still someone who, I think next year's the year for Sam Walker for sure. And then Dave Fafita, who knows what's going on there. We've got, Fafita saying he wasn't ready to play. The Gold Coast Titans were saying he was ready to play. That is just a situation, I just don't want to touch at this point in time. And a bit similar with Marzu, that neck injury is very, very high aggravation risk. We could see him off the field at any point. So he's another one who, I'd be staying away from out of those returning guys. And it would not be an injury update without Guru's favourite guy, and my favourite guy, to be honest with you, Tom Trbojevic. He looked fantastic on the weekend. Both sides of the rack from centre. Love to see it. I just can't do it. I can't do it, even if he looks fantastic. It's just been one of those seasons for him. There's too much uncertainty for me around, was he dealing with a hamstring injury? Was it just a cork? The re-injury risk is too uncertain. So, it's still a no-go from me. But, I won't begrudge anyone who wants to have a crack because we love seeing Tom Trbojevic in full flight. If you like this kind of analysis, this information, check out Magic Sponge Podcast. Comes out Sunday nights, Monday mornings. But otherwise, we will see you next week.
All right, thank you, Physio. Timmy very rudely yelled at me during that, which I thought was really fucking uncalled for. Bit over the top from you.
Yeah, well, you were a bit short on the Brian To'o chat, and I just said a little casual holdout.
Now, I appreciate also Physio addressing us as "Hey team."
That
this
was
week.
really nice.
Yeah. Really uncalled for by you. But anyway.
You know what, though? If I hadn't done that, he would have said, "Hey, fellas."
Yeah. No, I think you've done the right thing.
I appreciate the mention of team, Fizz. Thank you so much.
Yeah. I would have said hey to Kat on Sunday if she came to our turnout at
Tell me about it.
Allianz Stadium,
Nice.
but she didn't. So
Enough already.
he had some good stuff there.
He did have some good stuff.
Yeah.
What do you want to dive into first? You're obviously very excited about Toto.
Yeah, we'll talk about him later.
Oh, he's coming up?
Yeah, well, you've already gone through my stat deep dive topics. You know that he's in there. You just weren't paying attention, obviously.
I'm going to leave that. And I'm going to move on.
Payne Haas.
Payne Haas. Yeah, I do agree with him. I think that especially during this period, he's definitely out of the captain sort of range. He's a guy I still want to get back in, but I'll probably wait another 2 weeks or so, I think.
There's people buying him this week. I'm
Why?
like, why? He's got a buy next week. He's coming out of Origin that he's getting needled up to get through. Like, he could
Brisbane
come out.
also aren't a shit show anymore.
No. He could come out and he could score 100. It's like, fine, all right, he still doesn't play next week and there's a lot of risk around it. Just wait.
Yeah.
Nathan Cleary.
Another one I'll be very keen to get my paws on in a few weeks' time. I will wait until he's got the goal kicking in that side, but I will be getting it. It's just a matter of when. He did mention, he also obviously touched on with Nathan Cleary with Dylan Edwards as well. I do think people are getting a little bit over the top with Dylan Edwards from what I'm seeing on socials and whatnot. What are your thoughts?
Agreed. I think people are thinking last year a little bit where he went on a good run.
Yeah.
I mean, their run over next month is phenomenal. But again, the reality is he maybe kicks goals for a week or two more. There might be some good scores, but he's not 5'8" fullback eligible or CT dub fullback.
Yep.
Like, we're at fullback where we're talking Pappenhausen, Tedesco, Drinkwater, these blokes turning up for fun. Well, Pappenhausen isn't because you've killed him, but it's a red hot position. So I was like, you're really going to trade one of these guys to get Dylan Edwards? Maybe he does go on a big run, but he could also average 60 over that time.
Yeah, it seems like a lot for me, so I'm not overly interested.
Cleary was very much in my plans this week, but hearing that, the potential resting from Origin, I think they play the second last game of the round. I think I'm just going to sit on my hands on that one and just have I have an idea if I want to sell between Hughes and Hines, and we'll get to stat deep dive shortly, which touches on that. But
yeah, don't get into it early.
Yeah, well, I would want
Don't you fucking dare get into it early, boy.
Yeah, well, I don't want to throw the show out of whack like you've already done. Yeah, I think I might wait a week and just play Hughes and Hines this week, give him another week to prove themselves, see how Cleary comes out of Origin, make sure he backs up, and then look to jump on Cleary next week. Honestly, probably regardless of goal kicking, just because of their run to come.
Was that you looking down the barrel and putting Hines and Hughes on notice
It is now.
this week that they need to perform?
Boys, lift. Actually, you know what? One of you lift. The other one can falter. I need to know who to trade.
You need to know who to get rid of.
Yeah.
So, shout out to Physio. Go check out his podcast and doing all great things over there. Now, Blue Wealth Property. We have got an event coming up with Blue Wealth Property pretty soon. Now, if you are already a Blue Wealth member, you've already signed up, not a member, what would we call it? A Blue Wealth referral, a client maybe, someone that's already reached out. You know who you are. You would have received an email a few weeks ago. I think it's a subscriber is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Blue Wealth subscriber.
Check
you
your
would have
junk
already
folder.
got an email. What's up?
Check your junk folder.
Check your junk folder, check it all. You would have already got an email inviting you to this event. We are then opening it up to you guys as well to come and attend. So the event will be on Thursday, the 24th of July. It will be that evening. We'll be getting together. Me and Timmy will be doing a little live show. Blue Wealth, Morts and Tony will be doing their little bit as well. It'll be a fantastic evening. Come out, have a few drinks, have some dinner with us. Then watch the footy. We'll have a few giveaways there on the night and everything. So very, very exciting. Beers and Blue Wealth, we're calling it. Very, very creative. So make sure you keep an eye out because next Wednesday, after Beers and Breakevens goes live, we will be selling tickets. There will be limited numbers if you would like to attend. It is going to be down here in Sydney at a location that's pretty easy and pretty accessible for people to get to. So keep an eye out for that, guys. We'll give you another update next week, but they will be going on sale next Wednesday. The event will be Thursday, the 24th of July. I believe that night it's the Melbourne Storm and the Sydney Roosters going head-to-head. The Pappenhausen v Tedesco Cup. That'll be an absolute cracker. Another opportunity for me to watch Nwanga Tawase fist me into the core of the earth. So that'll be good fun. You get to spend the evening with us. We'll have a really good time out there with Blue Wells. So stay tuned for that. We'll be having a most unique footy jerseys dress code out there. So come next one, have a bit of a magic round feel to it, which is very exciting. There'll be lucky door prizes. We'll have a live screen going with SuperCoach updates throughout the evening as well, which I'm very keen for. Bit of a game changer there. And all the footy food, pies, pizzas, chips, all that good stuff. So very exciting.
Oh, we should have gone with beers, blues, and wealth. We can do that for next one. Beers, blues, and wealth.
Beers, blues, and wealth. As in the New South Wales Blues?
Well, either or.
Either or.
Or me wanting to punch you in the head.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay. Come to the event. It'll be really good fun. They'll be on sale next week. We'll give you more details next week. Put some bickies away. Keep that night free on your schedule, and you can come along.
Supercoach chat, hear from the great men themselves. We dribble on about all the different offerings all the time. They're going to have a short, sharp, efficient spiel sharing their insights.
Yeah.
As you said, we can watch Marky Mark do his thing as well. Said Teddy v Pap. It's going to be a cracking night, mate. I can't wait for it.
Yep, it's going to be unreal. So stay tuned for details next week. They'll be live at rugbyleagueguru.com.au next Wednesday. We'll let you know the exact time. All right. Our beers winner this week. Also, guys, if you are keen to reach out to Blue Wealth Property, just to have a look at their offerings and whatnot, beers at bluewealth.com.au is the email address you can send through there, or there is a link down below in the description. We don't have an event to talk about, Kat? No?
No.
Our
Okay.
event.
Sweet. All right. The winner this week was Ryan. He coaches Pookie Galvin. Cute. His score was 1,326. Enormous knock there. He's gone up 12,000 spots. Shout out to you, Ryan. Send us an email, beers and breakevens at gmail.com. We can get you sorted out there. And remember, guys, the winner of that league takes home $5,000 courtesy of Blue Wealth Property. Very, very exciting. That'll be heating up over the next few weeks. I think we'll have to start to keep track of, start to talk about each week where that's at as far as the top teams and whatnot.
It's heating up.
That'll be a Cat Haddad job. Because I can't see it, unfortunately.
But I think we mean Cat.
Cat, yes.
We can't get to the league.
Which is annoying. Shout out SuperCoach. All right. Timmy's Stats Deep.
Dive.
Fuck yeah. Nice. Jerome Hughes, Melbourne Storm halfback, Dally M winner, New Zealand halfback, former Gold Coast Titans utility. Talk to me.
Yeah, so just crunching a lot of numbers of late, trying to work out who to sell to Cleary in time out of Hughes and Hines. And a big one around Jerome Hughes this season has just been, and the Melbourne Storm in general, like we know they're absolute specialists in day games at Amy Park in Melbourne. But if we look at his home and away record, how he's gone away from Amy Park, the Storm have, I think they've got more games away than that. Yeah, so 4 of 9 games are in Melbourne on the run home. He's averaging 54.4 points away from home this season, and he's averaging 92 points per game at Amy Park. That's excluding his one injury-impacted game. Quite a substantial difference. And then when you consider 5 of his next 9 are away from home, the other one there is they play one more day game this season, the rest are night games. So I think there's a few big factors there in that Hines v Hughes decision.
Yeah, I obviously am not a Hughes owner myself, so I'll be going DCE to him. But I think for the run home, I would probably rather have Hughes over Hines, is my vibe.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards...
I'm more scared of Hughes, put it that way.
Yeah. I'm leaning towards Hines because the Storm have quite a tricky draw. Like they've got games. The next month is pretty good. Knights, Seagulls, Roosters, Eels. Then they go Broncos, Panthers, Bulldogs, Roosters, Broncos. Sharks draw's a lot easier. They have more day games. They have more games at Shark Park or at home. So there's not much in it. The Spies team Hughes as well, he thinks, but I'm thinking potentially the other way. A goal-kicking half, day games, lot at home, softer draw. It's a big decision. Like, they could both average 70, but one could average 50 and one could average 100. Yeah. I mean,
I can't see a world where Hughes averages 50 on the way home.
Yeah.
I just can't see it. I think, I think you're more likely to get a bedsheet out of the Sharkies and Hines than you are of the Melbourne Storm and that. But just my thoughts. Angus Crichton, big Gussie C. Talk to me.
Bloke I'm keen on, not this week. Heaps of trading him in this week. I just think, again, he'll play 80 minutes for the Blues, short turnaround. But next week is on my radar. 78 points last season per game. This season, 65 per game. Last year, 11 tries and 7 assists. This year, he's had 1 try and no assists.
Yep.
Still averaging solid enough. Someone that I want. Is he on your radar?
He is on my radar. I don't think it'll be this week, but he is definitely on my radar. I will probably be looking at a Zach Hosking to Angus Crichton. Depending on how this weekend plays out for me, and if he is backing up, it could happen this week, but I doubt it. I think I want to wait the extra week.
I think that's a smart play. I'm keen to see. Look, I think I'll get him anyway because his base, his power, all these things are good regardless. I do think the Roosters will finish well and there will be more attack for Angus Crichton. I do want to see the Sammy Walker impact on this entire team and a lot of the SuperCoach prospects. I don't know how it's going to play out because Sammy's a bit of a rogue, as we know, plays a bit like a headless chook at times and runs all over the field. But, I mean, 1 try and no assist. It's not going to be worse, if anything else.
Yeah, it can't be worse. And you're right. Sam Walker is, a little bit scat in what he does, but I think that he does enough that you're going to get impacted at some point out of it. I'm very confident that in the run home, you will see Angus's first 100 at some point.
We're thinking Sammy on the left, Savala stays right?
I would assume so. But, mate, I just think they'll let Walker go. Fucking do your thing.
Yeah.
Based on the last few years.
He'll play everywhere regardless, but like where he's stationed.
Where he's stationed, I think he'll be on the left, yeah. But Yeah, I think I don't think that helps like Angus's attacking output because I think he'll play all over the place. So but Angus will be a big watching guy. I will definitely be targeting sooner rather than later. Tanner Boyd, he's officially a proud member of Paddy and Kelmer into the draft team this week. I'm very excited about Tanner. I'm glad to see him get his opportunity. I know when the Warriors signed him. I know I was very vocal that I really like the signing. He's done really well in Cup, and I think he's going to do well in first grade for them. From a Supercoach point of view, what are we seeing, Timbo?
Yeah, so touching on the stats from last week again, for anyone that missed those ones, but as you said, been killing it in New South Wales Cup, 16 try assists in 13 games. He's 329k and he's dual half at 5'8". He's been an okay Supercoach player in the past. We're expecting him to take the goal-kicking duties from Luke Metcalf, who is out. Look, start of the year in 80-minute games for the Titans last year. I haven't averaged this out, but 26, 18, 31, 65, 67, 37, 25. Okay, so there was only one injury-impacted game there, and he averaged 34, so you bump that up to late 30s.
Yep.
Not great. Difference is he comes into a Warriors side in the back end of the season with a really soft run home. The Warriors are very good. The Titans, not so much. And a lot of those scores were early on last year, and we know it's harder to sort of scores are lower.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts, mate? Is dual position, is he a downgrade option for people or not?
I think he could be, yeah. And I think the beauty of it is that you get to watch for a couple of weeks with Tanner Boyd, but if I had to guess, I reckon at the end of the season, he will average around about the 52, 53 mark is what I think for this run.
If you're trading a 5'8" to him that you don't want and you free up a bit of cash, I don't mind. I'm happy to watch for 2 weeks, and I just want him to be a viable backup option. I wouldn't really look to play him on the run home, but if he can play 2 weeks and sort of have a few runs and knock out his 50s and the Warriors are still looking decent, then just be viable. So, yeah, I wouldn't move early because, as we've seen, there can be some low scores, but said good Warriors team, great goal kicker, soft run.
If he can just come up with just one attacking stat each game, we're sweet.
Yeah.
That's what we need. My question to you, would you consider, if you were me, and this is how much of a bit of a fucked spot I'm in at the moment, it's not worth me going King Tongia to him, is it? King Tongia is at 390k. It's like I'm only freeing up 70k to take a bit of a punt there. I'm better off waiting, aren't I?
Yeah. How many trades do you have left?
Not enough.
Yeah, I think
12.
It's not too bad.
Oh, it's not too bad. It's
better than a lot.
Okay, sure, yeah. But
you'd be surprised how low a lot of people are, like 6, 7, 8.
I don't care about anyone but you. I can't stress that enough. I'm in a 2-horse race with 170,000 other horses I can't see. So that's what I'm competing with for that trophy.
Yeah, I mean, not a trade I'll be doing this week. I just want to have a look at Tanner. And the other thing there is, if he has 2 poor weeks and the Warriors are no good, tomorrow will come in. They'll change it. So
yeah,
you want to see him win the spot.
Yeah. Okay, next one, Val Holmes, one that I'm very, very interested in. I think that Val Holmes might end up being my white knight this year, potentially. I think I was looking the other day. I think he's had like 1 or 2 scores under 60 this season. It's been pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, so it's not the deepest of dives, this one, but it is a good talking point that I thought I'd slide in.
We're about knee height?
Yeah, at best. Ankle.
Don't need floaties on. Ankles?
Probably ankle, yeah. Floaties are pushing it. A bit dramatic.
Right. Still wear floaties. Bad day to be a shin.
You'd wear floaties.
Okay. Bit targeted, but that's fine. Talk to me about Val Holmes.
75-point average. And yeah, I mean, you've basically said my stat, mate, but below 58 once all season. That was a 40. That was all the way back in round 2 against the Rabbitohs. I am keenish on Val Holmes. Their draw is awful, though. They've got
Keanu Keenish.
Yeah, I'm getting less Keanu Keenish on him. Roosters, Bulldogs, Cowboys, Raiders, Sharks, Warriors. Not to say you can't score well against these teams. We've had this spiel before about no one's that frightening, but when we're looking at some CT-dub options with huge upsides and softer runs, it's a tough draw.
Yeah, man, I'm just having a look through the rest of his season. Every time he's played a top 4 team, he's essentially hit 70 to 75 points each and every time against them. So
I'm concerned about the quality of the Dragons' on the run home. They're having a lot of injuries building up. Does that start to take its toll? Do they, we've seen them fade in games recently. To Val's credit, he's still scored well in games where they've been smashed. But, yeah, so I absolutely think he's a good buy. I was very keenish on him. Now, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's probably one that I'm going to have to roll the dice on at some point. So I'm hoping people avoid him and I can sort of make a play on Val. But yeah, the Dragons, I think that it's fair to say they're definitely fading. So tough one. Brian To'o, we sort of briefly touched on him already. Wasn't really a guy that I had on my radar, but you seem very excited about him. Talk to me.
Yeah, I'm just looking at some pottish moves for the run home.
Yeah,
teams are looking pretty similar, and we had a good chat on the Playbook Potty last night about you don't need pods to make moves as such. They help, but I look at Brian To'o and there are a lot of boxes that he ticks outside of the obvious injury concern that he's taking to Origin. So he's 609K with a break-even of 112, so he's dirt cheap. Their draw over the next month is unbelievable. Parramatta, Rabbitohs, Tigers and Titans. It does get tougher after that. We're talking about a player with one of the best base and power in SuperCoach. Penrith, who are getting some troops back and have come into form and could finish with an absolute bang. He's one that is averaging 63 points per game this season. I'm really interested in him. I wish he didn't have the injury concern because there's every chance, as Physio said, that he does get a rest this week. But he's one that I could do next week as well. Past seasons he's averaged 70, 71, 59 and 84. Base has dropped a little bit, down to 33 this season, but that's gone up to 39.3 in his last 3 games, so a lot better.
I think the other thing with these bases too, mate, if you take out the first game where he based 21, which is just about unheard of from him, that'd give him a big bump too.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Not a guy. Look, I'll tell you what, I'm very surprised, and obviously it is what it is, but I'm surprised he's only played 7 games of footy this year. I didn't realise he missed that much rugby league. That's wild.
And then the other one I'll throw at you with him, Ivan Cleary's shown a tendency for many years to chop his sides and go left, right, and you never know where he's going to be. In theory, at the Penrith Panthers, I want him to be on the right side. Cleary's on the right side. Granted, he's playing a lot more down the left as well of late. But Dylan Edwards does all his sweeping down the right. Penrith are scoring 52% of their tries on the left, only 28% on their right. Firstly, what edge is he going to play? Does he stay right and Jenkins just stays left? Jenkins probably keeps that combination with McLean, which is coming along. And is there an edge you'd prefer him on?
I think Jenkins will hold on to that left edge now. I think that Alamoti's on the outside there, so I think Jenkins will hold on to it. But, mate, I always take this dive into which edge I want them on. I think at Penrith it's just I think it just depends on the week. I think they're both fucking good edges to be on. And I always think I always look at and go, the left edge is the one I like. But like if he comes out and scores 3 tries in his next game on the right, I won't be shocked in the slightest.
Yeah.
As long as he's in the Panther side, I think he's a good option.
And that's it. Like if McLean were to stay at centre, I still don't really want him out. So he's starting to get that tip on, going a bit more in the draw and pass. I just look at Penrith and I know the stats don't necessarily say it now, but Cleary's missed games this year. Edwards has missed games this year. If Cleary's on the right doing his stuff, Edwards is sweeping. I think I like right edge. But to the point, and the stats suggest I don't really care. So, yeah, he's one that I'm, for that run, that no one will own. I think I'm keen to get on, but I'll probably factor him into plans next week if I want to do it and if he gets through all right.
Yeah, I think it all dependent on this injury and how it plays out. I saw some photos of him yesterday. He's got a bit of work on that leg. A bit happening there. So, have we got any mail on Kiraz playing or anything, or it just sounds like Tyler's good to go?
Good to go, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. All right. That is our deep dive. Anything else you want to throw in there, mate?
All good, mate.
All right. Trades this week. Now, do you mind if I steer the ship quickly? Put on the captain's hat? Yeah. Okay. I had a quick look because I'm now in a position where I don't have a hooker this week. Between Tom Starling and Riley Smith isn't ideal, but it's also not the end of the world because if I don't have a hooker, obviously King Tongia just comes into my side, so that's fine. I am considering I'm seriously considering that if Angus Crichton if Connor Watson plays this week, if he only plays 20 minutes in Origin tonight and he backs up, I think there's a very good chance I trade a hooker to Connor Watson this week. Very good chance I make that move. But outside of that, mate, nothing else is really jumping out at me this week. And we'll see how it ages, but I traded in Jacob Preston last week. I think it'll turn out okay, but I do have worries that I might have just forced a bit of an unnecessary trade there potentially. The only thing I will do is sort out my hooker by trading in Connor Watson. I'm not as keen on Harry Grant for the run home. I want Watson, I've decided. So if Watson is backing up and gets through Origin okay and only plays that 20 minutes, I will be trading him in at hooker. My question to you is, with that situation, I got 230K in the bank. The cash-wise, the better option is to trade Starling to Watson. But obviously with Talon De Silva arriving at Parramatta and all that sort of stuff, I don't know if I want to hold Riley Smith to the end of the season, or would you advise that I spend an extra 100K to get Riley Smith up to Connor Watson? You reckon that's played?
I wouldn't think twice about it, mate. Yeah, you know the way I Supercoach. But Riley Smith, as you said, Talon, as we have confirmed, does now play for the Parramatta Eels, so that will impact Riley Smith. I think they'll share the role. I don't know who gets the bigger minutes, but Riley's just re-signed as well, so he's not re-signing to come back and play cup when he comes back from suspension. Yeah, one wouldn't imagine. So I reckon they share the role, and I just think Riley becomes a headache there. Tommy Starling, he's doing a job. His minutes are good. If anything happens, and look, the reality is if you go Connor Watson, also a bloke who has a pretty prolific injury history as well and can miss games. And so if he misses, you could have a Riley Smith coming off the bench playing 25 minutes that you have to play that week, or you have Tom Starling. So, mate, I would be spending that extra 100K, and what else that will allow you to do is, worst case, if Watson does go down longer term and you've got no trades, you just play Tommy Starling at 9 for the rest of the year. You can't do that with Riley Smith, I don't believe, for the minutes we're expecting. So I think you just pay the extra 100.
Yeah, it's just going to leave me in a tough spot. It means I'm only going to have 40,000 left in the bank to make some pretty big moves over the next few weeks that I don't quite know how I'm going to do that. But I guess that's just a sort your shit out later kind of problem. So,
well, that's where there's, at some point, we're all probably going to have to make a move of like whether it's a Nuff, whether it's the Young Knights fullback, whether it's whoever it is, but, whether it's a Hosking down or a Nickera down to free up 400 or 500K to make all the moves you want to move. Mate.
I'll tell you what, and I know I've said this before and he has delivered for me once or twice now, but if King Tonga can pull an 80 out of his ass this week or 100, that would just change my season. That would just be enormous. What do you think in trades-wise?
Yeah, a bit the same, mate. Like, I'm very open just based on what happens from Origin, who backs up and who doesn't, because there are so many vital players. I think I will save my boost until next week for like a Nathan Cleary, and Payne has to be the following week, but probably need to free up some funds for him. Yeah, Angus Crichton, a few of these. But this week, there's just uncertainty around too many of those Origin players that I want. So I also have that hooker dilemma with Sandon and Riley. I want Harry Grant over Connor Watson, but by a bare margin. There's not much in it.
Yeah.
I think there's every chance Harry rests this week or comes off the bench or plays a few minutes, whatever. Look, if Harry plays and starts, I'll probably go Riley Smith to him. And then if Harry rests, and as you said, Connor plays 20 in Origin, I'll probably just go Connor at hooker instead. Yep. And that doesn't worry me. Look, him and Harry probably average pretty similar in the run home anyway. So do that. Like yourself, though, I don't have any spuds on my bench this week that can dish. Like, I don't have a King Tonga. My worst is Billy Smith against the Dragons. So if I do need that person to be my AE, I can cop that, hopefully. So yeah, I'll do that potentially, and then I want Lomax, whether that's this week or next. Like, if I'm going, say, a Riley up to Connor Watson, I won't be able to fund like a Tracy to Lomax in 2 hits. So I'm happy to move Connor Tracy in over the next week or two. But again, he's got a good matchup against the Cowboys. So yeah, looking at a Lomax, looking at a hooker, depending on how that plays out. But yeah, Origin will have a bit of an impact on the news we get in the days post.
Yeah, and as per usual, guys, stay tuned to Brew SC Playbook. We'll let you know how our plans change over the next few days, because it is probably the most volatile 3 days of the SuperCoach year.
Yeah, for sure.
Realistically. So
I'm close to my trades next week than probably the ones this week.
yes, yeah. So yeah, plenty to watch there. Captains wise this week, Timbo, what's jumping out at you, mate?
I find it pretty hard to go past Teddy against the Dragons. 5:30 at Oki Jubilee. So probably the C on him means I've got to go a little earlier in the first 2 games with the VC, unless I was to go the VC on Teddy, which is not the end of the world. But yeah, so that leaves me sort of Pappenhausen, maybe Nico Hines, which I don't really enjoy putting the VC on Nico Hines these days. So I don't know if we're going to get it, but if we can get confirmation that Paps will play in goal kick, I'll probably throw the VC on him into a C Tedesco. What are you thinking?
Yeah, Pappy's hard to look past for me in that game. And then Teddy I also like. I'm just having a look at other options that I could take. There really isn't much else jumping out there, is there? Yeah, I'm probably leaning towards those two as well. I think it's Old Boys Day out there at Netstrata Jubilee Stadium. I think they might be doing the 15-year reunion for the Dragons Premiership side. I don't know how many of them are going to show up, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. Pappy, Teddy. Sorry to be boring, guys, but I think it's the most logical.
There's not a heap of options. Like
you couldn't do Drinky against Canterbury, in my opinion.
you could get a bit funky and go like a Kiraz maybe. I mean, I wouldn't, but
yeah, I wouldn't be doing that, but you could. Even like you've obviously got your Terrell Mays of the world and whatnot that you could have a look at if you just want to lock in a safe play. But I'm very confident one of Teddy or Pappy knocks out Terrell May. These Panthers, you just don't know what you're going to get there. The Broncos are going too good to look at like a Jaden Campbell or something for me. So, yeah, I think that's probably going to be the plays. Is there any interest in like a Hines on Friday night?
Only obviously a VC, but like you just Teddy's the clear standout skipper. So the VC, to me it comes down to Hines v Pap, and as long as Pap's playing and kicking, he's the man.
What about you pounding my ass in SuperCoach this week? Thank Christ Teddy scored on the last play. Well, that would have been so bad.
Would have been skip.
Yeah, would have been another 70 points I would have lost.
Yeah, it halves because I own him.
Oh, you own him too, so it would have been like another 35 still. Would have put me close to the 500 mark. That would have fucking sucked. But yeah, I think this week, guys, it is pretty straightforward. I would advise not outthinking the room unless we get mass late out somewhere. But I can't even even if Penrith rest everyone, I don't think like Lomax becomes a huge play or anything like that.
Especially with Moses out.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the play this week. Pappy into James Tedesco. I think it's a don't outthink the room kind of week. Anything else you want to touch on, mate?
Pretty good, I reckon, mate.
Blues by
30.
30?
Yeah.
Why do you idiots keep doing this to us?
I'm just confident. I'm not even taking the piss, though, and I'm very aware of how this is going to age. I've been a New South Wales Blues fan for a long time. I've gone through a lot of heartbreak. We've been favourites. I think we're the better team, mate. I really do. I think we were obliterated on the penalty count and just everything that could go wrong did in game 2, and we scored more tries than them.
Yeah.
I think our yardage out of back 3 is better. I look at our centre matchups. I look at Latrell Mitchell and Stephen Crichton against Toya and Shibasaki, and I just go, I know it's an Origin, I know it's a different beast, I know it's only a one-off game, but I just think it's such a huge mismatch, and I'm confident we win well in Sydney.
I love Critter on Shibasaki.
Freaking
I'm a
oath.
big fan of that. Yeah. I just think Queensland will be up for this. I love, which you know better than anyone, I love them bringing in Papali'i into the side.
Yeah.
I think that's enormous, and this Munster stuff just scares the shit out of me. I just know he's going to come to play.
The Maroons for Munster are just going to be so up and about as they should be.
They're going to be very up and about as they should be, yeah. So,
it's going to be a cracker. And you know what? I mean, we got a good finish last game, but it's been a bit underwhelming the first 2 games. Let's call it what it is. A lot of ref dictating both games, a lot of whistles blown, taking a bit of sting out of the game. Yep. Hopefully lets it flow a bit both ways this game and could be in front of the greats.
Even like the lead up to the games, like the stuff that was interesting was a bit etch. It was like, oh, I don't know. Like the lead up to this game has been nothing. There's been very little in my opinion. So it's been weird. It's been a weird Origin series. What's that?
Set to explode.
Yeah. I think we got a big one.
What's your tip?
Two of the great rugby league minds that I've ever come across have tipped Golden Point, Cooper Cronk and Sebo, so I'm very, very excited about that. I would love to see a Golden Point game. I think it'll be the third one ever if we get it. I think Blues win by about 8 points. I think it'll be a little bit tighter. I think Munster and Papali'i and then we'll be up for this one, but I think we'll get them. Fuck, I hope we get them.
Me and Matty, the Waterboy, were talking.
Be a short 10-day dynasty if not.
Me and Matty were talking off air the other day, and we're just like, if the Blues get done in this, I'm just probably never going to be able to watch Origin again, or just like never with any faith.
Yeah.
I'll never tip the Blues again if we lose this game. I can't go through it again.
Yeah,
It's
there
not
is
favourites.
just no pressure on Queensland whatsoever, and all of it's on us.
And that's what that has me shit scared. I'm like, it's all on the Blues. Even if we win, it'll be like, yep, you should have your hot favourites.
Yeah. That's us. Jerseys coming out. I wouldn't say June 30th. That's before you can move clubs. July 30th, they'll be coming out. Stay tuned for details on that. Next Monday, we will be selling tickets on the Guru website for the Beers and Blue Wealth event down here in Sydney. I believe that one is the 24th of July? 24th of July, that's a Thursday night. The Melbourne Storm take on the Sydney Roosters that night. That'll be a cracker. You get to come in with us down here in Sydney and have a great evening. Special event there, giveaways, all good stuff going on. We good to go?